So we're on the Dwarfie Stane. I deleted the wrong one. So we've got the Rhino Cardinals against the Blue Toon Texans. So is that Michael, Blue Toon Texans?
Yeah,
Amos.
Michael.
So you got Darryl Urquhart, you've got Trevor Lawrence, Bijan Robinson, David Montgomery, Marvin Harrison, Chris Olave, Calvin Ridley, George Kittle, Jake Ferguson, Jameson Williams, Justin Tucker, Tremaine Edwards, and Singleton. And Michael's gone for Burrow, Williams, Pacheco, Chase, Smith, Thomas, Bowers, DeAndre Swift, Jackson McIntyre, Tyler Bass, Will Anderson, and Hines Allen. I quite like his team.
I was loving Michael's team to Devontae Smith. I think I can just about forgive him it though because it is such a strong team there. Look at that. Chase, Smith and Thomas and wide receivers, and I love the running backs.
And then you got the stack with Burrow. I like that.
Yeah, I do like the Burrow stack, the Burrow Chase stack. I think that's it's a points machine. That is a stack that can literally win you a game. If your opponent has a bad week, that stack could be enough to put you over the line. Without anybody else. So
yeah.
I do like that. I mean, I don't. I quite like the team on the left as well. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't see
I
any
like the
issue with
Harrison,
it
Olave,
whatsoever.
and Ridley. I like. There's a lot. That's a high ceiling there for those three
Very
guys.
much so. Very much so. I don't hate Kittle and Ferguson both being in the team because both are tight ends that get wide receiver production. It maybe worries me a bit that Williams is a starting flex, so what's there on the bench, but certainly it looks absolutely fine to me.
I've got start
You
with
see, here comes a problem with the team on the left.
Yeah.
It's got Lewis Rees-Sammet on the bench, who's never going to see the light of day. It's got Stafford and Mayfield both on the bench, no need. Charbonnet, it's got
Douglas.
I like Downs and Douglas.
How long is
two
Downs out for?
defenders.
How long is Josh Downs out for?
I don't even think it matters, to be honest with you. I think Josh Downs is one of those fabled guys from Indianapolis that, is supposed to go and do something but never actually does. There's been loads of them in Indianapolis, I'm telling you. It's where the wide receivers go to die.
Well, he actually did better with Mayfield. Mayfield, Minshew.
Yeah,
I like Polk Robinson, Mike Williams. I like Jerry Jeudy. I like the receivers core and the backups. I like it.
Yeah, I agree. And Robinson on the bench is a great one to have on your bench there. So that's a super move as well there. And
That's
Bo
a
Nix
starting
again,
running back. That's
another
a
one.
starting running back on the bench that you can plug in anytime.
So he can get rid of Swift. I really like what Michael's done there. I've got to say, Johnny, I think that Michael's done really well here. I really like that team, the Blue Toon Texans.
And obviously we've got the Gloucester Wolfpack against the Knockout Knockouts. Knockout Knockouts are new this year. They replaced the team that didn't want to play anymore. So, and then we've got Scott Wolf King, who did win last year. So we've got Kyler Murray, Travis Etienne, Devin Achane, CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbours, Kean Coleman, Dallas Goedert, James Cook, Samir White, Jake Moody, and Pace and Shear. And the knockouts have got Anthony Richardson, Derek Henry, Aaron Jones, Tyreek Hill, Drake London, Mike Evans, The Muth, Christian Kirk, Mostert, Zerline, Bolton, and Bernard.
Well, team in the left strong.
I like the starters on both teams. They're ready. They're ready for a shootout. This is going to be a good game, week one.
I mean, Etienne, Achane, Lamb. I mean, the upside of Achane and the upside of Lamb, the upside of Neighbours,
and Etienne
and Coleman.
That's massive. I think that the team on the left, I think the team on the right is really, really good, but one on the left is knocking out the park for me here. I think that's. I mean, James.
And then look at the flex. Look at the flex.
How are you getting
James Cook and Zamir White?
And Zamir White. That's what puts me off the flex. Puts me off on the right, and obviously the Muth in at tight end. That scares me witless. if he's a starting tight end.
Purdy and
Daniels on the bench. I
Daniels.
love
Well,
I
he's
love
got
having
Singletary on
Daniels
the
on the
bench.
bench.
So
Singletary on the
Mitchell.
bench.
close to
Jalen
Wolfpack,
Warren,
I've got
unfortunately for him.
amazing. He's got Jermaine Burton, Rashid
I like.
Shaheed,
Burton.
and Sinnott.
Yeah, I really like I like the bench on the right hand side here. The bench on the left, it's a wee bit ho hum for me. You know, Allen, I don't see him how much production he's honestly going to get. Thielen, he's going to be much quieter than good. You know, week on week. Bateman's just a scary thought, isn't he? Orton, you know, he'll have a couple of weeks, I'm sure, and then a couple of defenders on the bench. And I do like the starting line up there, but I do think the bench is quite weak. That's what would put me off the team on the left. The team on the right's got, you know, when you've got Singletary on your bench, that's a sign of
Yeah.
strength. You know, that's a number one running
Which is
back.
a list. So he's got Ben Sinnott, who could end up being the number one tight end for Washington, but you don't know what it's going to be like. And he
And
has his
that's it.
quarterback.
You know, it could be there is
He
upside
could
there
be.
for having them on the bench. You know, there's a lot of
When I was
bench
making,
upside there, so I don't hate them being on the bench.
I have to admit, when I was making the videos for the Pez and Pork show, Ben Sinnott did look bloody good. But then obviously you're only getting the highlights. But he did look
Yeah, of
good.
course.
Yeah.
And
Of course.
obviously,
But
Yeah, I
it
like the
depends on
highlights.
it depends on the quarterback as well. That's but obviously usually the
well,
quarterback's best friend is the tight end. So
oh yeah.
Do you know
But I think they're
what?
gonna. I think
See,
they said they're gonna play Zach Ertz first, and then
yeah,
Zach
for
Ertz
about
might
2
start the
weeks, and then
first 2-3
realise
weeks. Yeah.
you drop it, you
yeah,
break his Zimmer frame, and that'll be him out.
because what's his face? The old Arizona head
Zach
coach is
Right.
now
Ertz.
the offensive
Oh
coordinator.
no,
He like
Oh.
I'm pretty. He's now the offensive coordinator at Washington. I'm pretty sure Zach Ertz is sleeping with his wife or something like that because he seems
Oh yeah.
to be the starter for
Yeah.
him all the way. But see if I could have Gloucester's go right up, Johnny. Go right up to the top. See if I could have Gloucester's starting lineup and knockouts
Bench. Yeah.
bench. I think
not
that's
Colt
a super
knockouts.
team.
Yeah,
Not Colt
but
knockout,
yeah,
sorry. Yeah,
I
if I could
do.
have their bench and Gloucester's starting lineup, that's a knockout. But Gloucester's my favourite one so far. That we've. Oh no, no, it's not. In fact, the Bluetooth Texans is my
Bluetooth
favourite one
Texans.
so far. That was really good.
So up
It's going to
next, I've
take a
got the
bit to beat that, actually.
Manchester Spinners, Nick against Lagersfield Lemons. That's That's Pork's friend. So we've got Jordan Love, James Conner, Javonte Williams, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Stefan Diggs, Dalton Kincaid, DJ Moore, D. Higgins, DeAndre Hopkins, or no, Dustin Hopkins, who's out, but don't know for how long. Ernest Jones, Devin Lloyd. Then you got Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, Rashad White, Jalen Waddle, Christian Cooper Cup, Rasheed Rice, Evan Ingram, Jordan Addison, Tony Pollard, Jake Elliott, Fred Warner, and Hamilton. How long is Hopkins out for? Because
That's
it's on
it.
the minor
Matters
injury. That's
zero.
okay then.
You plug in a kicker 5 minutes before kickoff, job done.
Yeah.
You know that matters less than zero. I do like that team. I like that. You know, it's obviously I'm not a fan of Diggs in there, but you know, Connor and Williams, it's not the worst running back room I've ever seen, but it does allow you to have Jefferson and Wilson. And if Aaron
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers is 80% Aaron Rodgers, then Gareth Wilson should have a massive season. And Jefferson, I still, you know, I think he is the mouth that will be fed in Minnesota. I think it's, you know, he's the type of guy that you throw it to when he's in double coverage because he still goes and gets it. And that's going to be a godsend for Sam Darnold. So, yeah, I like that, and I like what it's doing
Thanks,
there.
Daniel.
And the right hand side, it's I think that's a very good wide receiver room as well. And running back, you know, McCaffrey, White,
And
Waddle,
Josh
and
Allen's the
Rice.
quarterback. How do you have
Josh
Josh
Allen's the
Allen,
quarterback.
CMC, Rashad White, Waddle, Cup, and Rice? I like it. I like that first six there.
Remember, Cup was going in about the fourth round at this point. You know, he's went right up in the drafts now, but he was going late at this point. So yeah, runnings down a bit further, Johnny, to see the rest of that one again. Yeah, Rice and see Addison. I'm very, very
Yeah, that's the
cold on
only.
Addison now, and
And
Pollard
I'm
and
okay with Pollard in the flex because the role he's going to play is going to be what we used to seeing him when he was in Dallas. So he'll get his 15 to 20 based off
yeah, yeah.
screen passes and things like that.
I just worry what he's going to do with him. He had a better line in front of him in Dallas, and he done nothing with him there last season. When he got that big chance. But yeah, I mean, I get it, and Spears will get plenty of touches as well, so he won't
Yeah,
be the number one. So yeah, I've got no issue with him being in there. He wouldn't be in my flex, but I can see why people are still plugging him in it, and obviously, still got a bit of faith in him having something left.
He got
Let's do the
Josh Allen
benches,
in the
Johnny.
301. He got Josh Allen in the 301 in this division.
Was that?
oh
Is it?
wow.
Well, it's back end of the second, isn't it? That's where they
Let's
should be
see.
going quarterbacks in a one quarterback league. So we got. I love the running back options on the team on the left here.
Yeah,
Tracy Dobbins four,
Tracy. Mm-hmm.
and I love Williams as well. And Levis is another one that I've got no problem putting him on the bench as a quarterback because if he is what they think he is and he's flying, then he's a good man to plug in.
Whoa, 3 Green Bay
And
at the end here.
I'm not a big fan of both Musgrave
He
and
got
Calf, but
Kraft.
I get. I guess it's one way to go and make sure you're going to get you've got them both type thing. But I love Wicks. I love Wicks being on the bench. It's so I really like the bench on the left. The one we hold two tight ends, but not so sure. I'm the biggest fan of the one. I mean, I'm cold on Myers. I'm cold on Hopkins. Corley's I can't see being much this year. There's certainly options, or there are options that can be played. So yeah. They're not awful. I think they're both fine teams. They're not my favourites, but I think they're both fine teams. Bluetoon still leading though.
Oh, you go, yeah. So Nick picked up Hopkins. He obviously didn't draft a kicker, so he picked up Hopkins.
Early drop him, he'll pick up another one.
And Mike J dropped Jordan Mason and picked up Johan Johnson. No, dropped Dotson and picked up Mason, obviously with the hangman.
I would have
But
left
next up we
Mason.
have.
I would have left Mason on in agency.
Yeah, I
So,
can't imagine. Dotson's one that probably should be on someone's bench somewhere because he could be a big thing. But he's the type of player that you go looking for after week one. When he has a big week. Well, there's always players that has a big week one and are sitting on the agency. And it's a big rush to get there. It's
right. So
getting the
this
right
one,
ones and the ones that are going to be consistent with it. That's a big thing. Anyway, who we
this
got
one
here,
here,
Johnny?
the Birmingham Bears also joined this year after somebody left, and this is actually Dick and Chief Demon's son, Jack.
Okay.
So it's a
Okay.
father-son, but they're in third, second, and fourth division. So Jack is against the Richmond Reds. So you've got Lamar Jackson, Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, Deebo Samuel, Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Sam Laporta, Travis Kelce, Christian Watson, Jacoby Myers, Bobby Wagner, and Levante David. And the Richmond Reds, Caleb has got Dak Prescott, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Michael Pittman, DK Metcalf, Amari Cooper, Joe Mixon, Hollywood Brown, Daniel Carson, TJ Watt, and Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutch.
Obviously, we need
Yeah, I
to see
quite
a
like
tight
that.
end for Richmond Reds. It's probably on the bench. And what's going to replace Hollywood before we can comment on that one properly. But I like what the Birmingham team here's done.
Yeah, I was
He's got a nice team there.
Laporta and Kelsey, and then you have
As
Kamara, Walker, Lamar Jackson. I like it. That's a lot of
Oh,
points. That's a lot of points on that
this is
side.
Jack started Laporte on the first round, Kelsey in the second round. This is the one that started tight end.
Right, okay, yeah. So when you see it like this, I do like it. I mean, obviously Keenan Allen, I'm not a fan of, but Christian
I think
Watson's
he was.
on flex here, so that he can be plugged in, and I think Watson will do just fine as long as he's fit. It's fitness that's his problem, and
I think he was a
yeah, but for,
109.
for the right
But
for the right hand side, I need to see who's going to replace Hollywood and who's for tight end. Sutton's there, Leggett's there, so there's definitely
still
options
have a tight
there.
end.
So many defenders on that team.
Yeah, just a lot of defenders and not having obviously, they'll pick up a tight end from agency, and there are often, decent tight ends sitting in there, but that would slightly worry me that the tight end room is so shy, and especially with them getting extra points,
I like the Ty Chandler, Brandon Cooks, Lockett, Samuel, and Robinson. That's nice. That's a solid bench.
It's that they've all got some upside, they all have the upside. So yeah, absolutely, and they're in the right spot though, they should be on the bench at this moment in time. And I think it's good strength, and then you've got Corum there for Williams and Brooks to come in when he's good to go. I don't. Again, Tua's one that I just don't get being on the bench, because if you ain't starting Tua now, you're never starting him. It's Lamar, so week 14 again. Yeah, I do like what the team on the right here's doing, and I like that they've got the options for Hollywood Brown there.
So if Tua only plays in week 14, he's playing against the Jets. But at least he's at home. So. But that'll be a hard one. Yeah, but I do like the Birmingham Bears on that one, to be honest.
Yeah, the left-hand side. Yeah, the Birmingham Bears, I really liked what they were doing.
So up next, we've got Cork Red Army, Suarez Power. We've won a few leagues for him. And then you've got Adam, the Plymouth Assassins. Well, they used to be called Plymouth something else, but now they're Assassins. So the Cork Red Army are Jalen Hurts, Gus Edwards, Chase Brown, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, Brandon Ayuk, David Njoku, Chris Godwin, Deontay Johnson, Harrison Butker, Rickon Smith, and Bobby Rickie. Adams gone for Justin Herbert, Najee Harris, Jadji Spears, AJ Brown, Tank Dell, Roma Duzey, Trey McBride, Mark Andrews, Dalton Schultz, Evan McPherson, Freddie Lucon, and Zaire Franklin.
Where does start? Both running back rooms scare me. If that's it, the running back 1 and 2, both running back rooms scare me. And now Naj, I like Naj. I think he's going to have a great season. Is he my RB1?
Spears in the RB2 scares me. I can see him in the flex, but not in the top 2.
And Brown and Edwards as well. I mean, the Gus Bus is an injury waiting to happen, and Brown's very reliant on Moss being terrible, or Moss not being very good. So that does worry me a bit. I do love the Hurts Brown stack. Yeah, that's a very good point, Johnny. But I can't like either running back room here.
I have to admit, though, I do like
look at the tight
Assassins tight ends.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. McBride,
Andrews, and Schultz.
Listen, it might work. It might work.
Yeah.
They are all catching tight ends. It might work, I mean, I would rather have Andrews in a flex spot than Godwin. I'm not, I would rather have Schultz in that flex spot than Godwin. So it might work. But what are these benches like? That's a big thing. Because there's some weakness in the specifically running back.
I like these two defenders as well. In fact, I like all. They're all pretty good.
So technically, he has a Jared Goff, Amon-Ra stack when he does play them together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Khalil Herbert, Tyler Algier.
And Herbert,
Davis, Palmer,
Palmer, Dobbs. Oh, we got one. We got a nice team over here.
He's got running backs, but I'm worried about. He's got wide receivers. I'm worried about the running backs.
This is the one with 3 kickers.
Yeah. So rule that.
Fairbairn, Sanders, and Butker. I think it is. You're not going to drop Butker, so yeah.
So I'll rule out Cork Red Army right now for me. There's too many kickers on the bench, wasted spots, and
the thing is, he's got 3 good kickers as well. Yeah, it's not as if they're bad kickers. He's got 3 good kickers, but you're only going to be able to play one.
Yeah, you can only ever play one. As I said, Dobbs and Palmer, the team on the right here's got a great bench for wide receivers, and they've got a good start lineup wide receivers as well. My only worry is Algier and Herbert is the only cover at running back, and the running backs are Spears and Naj.
Yeah.
Like you say, Naj. The thing is, though, that as tight as if the tight ends are the catchers that you think they can be, they might cover the discrepancy in the running backs.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and it's I do love that tight end tactic, and I'm very interested to see how it plays out throughout the season, and I'll be very interested to see if he continues to play, kind of 2 and 3 tight ends week in week out. I'm very interested to see how that tactic works out because it's not one I've ever played before.
Well, last year a
What
lot of the teams that were in the top did play 3 tight ends
I
for
can
a
see
lot of the
that
weeks.
with the extra with the
So,
extra half point for them catching it, it's big.
but
One
that
more,
but
Johnny.
you see, it's a high risk because he took the extra wide receivers, but doesn't have any running back room. But
Yeah,
like
the
it's
running
still
back room's the
early.
problem.
We can see a trade. We never know what's gonna happen in the next couple of weeks.
And though with hogging those tight ends, you can get trades for them definitely.
so the final
The
one
very
is the
last one.
Thorwood Patriots against the Bangham Sharks. We've got Sean Fleming there.
Oh yeah,
So
Sean.
partly that's the logo for his work. So it
Oh
took
right,
ages to get
okay,
him to get
fair
the
enough.
logo.
He
So the
he's a
Thorwood
brewer. He
Patriots got,
brews beer.
yeah, you got Thorwood, CJ Stroud, Josh Jacobs, Ramondre Stevenson, Puka Nakua, Nico Collins, Shaden Reed, Cole Kmet, Zach Moss, Trey Benson, Brandon Aubrey, Micah Parsons, and Matt Crosby. On the other side, you have Patrick Mahomes, Brees Hall, Jameer Gibbs, Safe Flowers, George Pickens, Lad McConkey, Kyle Pitts, Ezekiel Elliott, Xavier Worthy, Younghoe Koo, Andrew Minfield, and Jeremy Bates. Jay Bates.
Yeah, I
There
was
you go.
liking Fullwood Patriots right down to you said Trey Benson. But I mean, I get it. I do like it, but my problem with it, Reed and Jacobs, I'm not a big fan of having two a running back and a wide receiver from the same team. I just feel like, I get that both will get points, but I just don't think both can maximise their points. If one is having a massive game, the other one inevitably is suffering because of it.
Yeah,
Happy to have them both in my team. I don't like starting two, so I don't tend to go for it much.
I like the receivers. Flowers, Pickens,
Glad.
McConkey. I'm good on. I just don't know about being one of the top 3 receivers on my team. That's a
Yeah.
So what
reach,
do you think
bro.
about Pitts? How do you think Pitts
Uh,
is he going to sting you again this year, or is he going to have
No,
a good year?
I think Pitts will be better than last year for sure.
so do I.
I just don't see him being top 5.
So
But
do
he,
I. That's
but
exactly where
but
I'm
he,
at, Everett. I
but
agree.
he is. I would say you can start him every week with no problem, especially with Cousins. That should be fine.
Yes, I mean, there will be weeks where he hurts you for sure, but I agree with you. I think he'll be fine, but I don't think he'll be knocking out the park brilliant. I don't think he's going to become a top 5 tight end, not this year anyway. But yeah, I mean, I think that, that's aside, I think that Sean's actually done really well here. I quite like that starting lineup, in terms of there's nothing jumping out at me to say that it's awful. I think it's very strong, it's very solid, it's very well spread.
Oh, he's
Not
got
liking the
Cousin on the
start of his
bench.
bench, right enough.
Oh, I don't mind Sanders. He could be okay, but Pearso, Vidal, Cousins, Taysom Hill,
Yeah, I
Austin
don't mind.
Eckler,
I
Darnell
don't
Mooney,
mind any of them. I just mind having
Kevin.
them all. It's
I do love
you
Thibodeau,
still need.
but really not in this week.
You would be plugging any one of those 3 rookies at the top of Sean's bench there. If Vidal, Pearso, Sanders, you would be plugging them in with, and you would be worried about plugging them in. You wouldn't be comfortable plugging them in. You'd be doing it through injury, and hoping that you got something whereas not expecting anything. I would rather have the likes of I mean we've seen like Dobbs on the bench a lot. We've seen Sutton on the bench a lot. These guys that you can plug into your team and you're going to get
Right.
points from them. That's what I like to see on a bench.
Oh, that's an extra
So I'm
kicker.
not the biggest fan of Sean's bench here. Eckler's a decent one to have on the bench. Taysom Hill again, it's picking the right weight, and Mooney's a good one to have on the bench. Fine
Yeah.
with that. But the bench on the left hand side here, there's a couple of defenders and a kicker, so that's 3 kind of spots taken up with with those
Who's the
positions.
starting quarterback on the right side? Who's the starting quarterback? Who's the starting quarterback?
Mahomes.
Mahomes. Okay, yeah, you're gonna play Mahomes every week over Cousins.
So why have
Then
Cousins? Why have
is
him?
is Mahomes not? Is it bye week 6 or something daft like that?
No,
Yeah,
it's
so
11,
bye
I
week
think.
6.
Or is it by week 6?
Bye week
It
6.
doesn't matter. You just pick someone up from it. I mean, maybe I guess he'll sit him there till bye weeks and then he'll bring someone in at that point. But it's who's going to be there at that point is the
Is
question that
playing
you've got a
Carolina.
much better chance of getting someone now and taking someone out of
You never
agency.
know. You might get
That's
somebody
just me
lose a
though.
quarter. You might get somebody lose a quarterback in week 7, then you'll trade Kirk Cousins.
That's just
Yeah.
well,
If
I
Cousins
don't see
starts the
anyone
season
giving you.
well,
But what are you going to go and ask for Kirk Cousins? Because I'm sorry, but if I'm looking at Baker Mayfield in the agency, if I'm staring at Geno Smith in the agency, if I'm staring at the Panthers quarterback in the agency, Bo Nix is sitting in some agencies. If I'm sitting staring at them in agency and you come at me and say I want blah blah for Kirk Cousins, I'm going to laugh you out the room. I'm going to say, don't be silly. I'll just go with Bo Nix. I'll just go with Geno Smith. Why would I give up something for Cousins? Would be my look at that.
oh, Cousins was a good machine last year for the points, but then he wasn't a better team. But yeah,
And it's, I mean, but the point difference is going to be that minimal that you want to give up. I mean, who's going to come to you and say, I want, Jalen Warren? That's not, that someone's going to come to you and say, I want Josh Jacobs. I want, a half decent receiver. I want Jackson Smith and Jigba, something like that. And you're not going to give that up for Cousins. There's just no way. When you can pick one up
Mm,
from the agency that's going to be not that far worse.
well,
yeah.
you just have to find a Kirk Cousins fan that will give you anything for him, which does happen in fantasy. It does happen in fantasy football, Greg. So anything can happen.
Listen,
But
Cousins was
this might
is
not
a
be a
massive
trading league
scorer
anyway,
there as
so
well. He was a massive scorer there as well, Cousins. He really was. He was a massive scorer at times. So yeah, I can definitely, I see his advantage, but it's a one quarterback league, so I just don't see anyone paying that much up from Bluetoon Texans, Johnny. Bluetoon Texans. I've not changed my mind on Michael's team.
I'm going to go with the Birmingham Bears.
I did
And
like that team too.
I'm taking the Gloucester Wolfpack.
It was another one that I liked a lot. So yes, that's it. I think that's three good choices.